Have you ever stopped and wondered what really separates, a random guess from a genuine scientific breakthrough? Well, today, we're diving into exactly that. We're going to look at the essential building blocks that take our everyday curiosity and turn it into the powerful process of scientific discovery. Let's build this foundation together, one core idea at a time.
So, let's start with this. We hear the word scientific thrown around all the time, right? Scientific evidence, a scientific study. But what does that word actually mean? What's the secret ingredient that makes an idea or a process truly scientific?
And, it's the same thing with the word research. We all do it. We Google things, we look up reviews, we compare products. But at what point does that simple act of searching become something bigger, something more rigorous and powerful? That's the line we're going to draw today.
Okay, so to get to the bottom of this, let's break down our two main building blocks, because understanding the difference between science and research is really the critical first step.
First up, science. It's so easy to think of science as just this giant book of facts, but it's so much more dynamic than that. Really, it's a way of thinking. It's a method for building these mental models of how the world works. I like to think of it like building with Legos. You're constantly testing, observing, and then refining your structures based on what works. It's the very architecture of our understanding.
And then we have research. Now, the word itself is simple. It just means to search for something. But when we talk about it in a more formal sense, it becomes a whole lot more deliberate. It's not just a casual search for an answer. It's a structured, organized effort that's specifically designed to solve a problem.
All right, and this is where it all clicks into place. The moment we put the word scientific in front of research, the whole game changes. The standards are higher, and it introduces a new level of rigor and purpose.
This table just lays it out perfectly. On one side, you've got your everyday searching. Think looking up a recipe online. It's casual, it's subjective, and it solves your immediate personal problem. But on the other side, that's scientific research. That's a systematic investigation. It has to be precise, objective, and the goal is to produce verifiable facts that help us all understand the world a little better.
So let's put it all together into one big idea. Scientific research is a disciplined, critical investigation. The goal isn't just to find an answer. It's to uncover facts and principles that are verifiable, meaning anyone can test them for themselves. This is the engine we use to build reliable, trustworthy knowledge.
So, now we know what scientific research is, the next logical question is, what is it trying to do? What's the point? Well, it's not just a set of random procedures. It's a process with 4 very specific and powerful goals.
This progression here is just fundamental to everything. Think about something simple, like a houseplant. First, you describe what's happening. The leaves are wilting. Then, you try to explain it. Oh, it's wilting because it's not getting enough water. That explanation lets you predict what's going to happen next. If I don't water it, it's going to keep wilting. And finally, that gives you the power to control the outcome by watering it. Describe, explain, predict, and control. That's the entire journey of scientific inquiry right there.
Okay, so we've got the process, we've got the goals, but what about the actual person doing the work? What kind of personal attributes does a scientific researcher really need to cultivate to be effective at this? This part really gets to the human element of it all. See, a great researcher needs a lot more than just technical skills. They need a very specific mindset. They have to have patience, because discovery can take forever. They need this deep, burning curiosity to ask the right questions in the first place. They need objectivity to see the data for what it is, not what they want it to be. And maybe the most important one of all, they need the humility to be proven wrong by the evidence. Now, let's switch gears a little. Let's contrast the researcher's personal mindset with the actual qualities of the research they produce. These are the non-negotiable standards that any piece of scientific work has to meet.
These are the true hallmarks of quality research. The work itself has to be objective and accurate. It must be replicable, and that's a huge one. It means another scientist can follow your steps and get the same result. It should also be parsimonious, which is just a fancy way of saying it should be the simplest explanation that fits the facts. And finally, it's got to have a clear purpose, with findings that are generalizable, meaning they actually apply to situations beyond just that one specific study.
So, let's just do a quick recap. We've journeyed from the big idea of science as a framework, down to research as a structured effort, and finally, we landed on scientific research, that precise, verifiable process that's defined by its clear goals and really rigorous standards.
So now we know the fundamental rules of the game. But here's the thing. Research isn't just one single game. There are many different types, many different ways to play.
In our next explainer, we're going to open up the playbook and break down all the different kinds of research you can do. See you there.